Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Terrell Kessler with Eastern Shore Transit, CEO and founder. Eastern Shore Transit was established in 2017 based on providing transportation needs to the community. So we wanted to identify problems and where transportation lacked thereof, and we wanted to provide transportation resources to those who seek transportation. I wanted to come on here and touch base on something that is happening and something that is becoming a growing, concerning social issue. And for some people, you may take this as not being professional, because I know that there's this stigma of keeping business and keeping social justice issues separate. But I have to speak on this because it has been burning on my heart to speak on for some time now, considering the fact that someone close to me at the age of 49 almost fell victim to human trafficking last year in 2018. I want to inform you all what human trafficking is and how you can avoid being a victim of human trafficking and what signs to look for. Human trafficking is definitely any moment that you are not able to express free will. If you are under someone's surveillance, or you're under, someone's care with, you know, a large amount of restrictions, you have to question what type of situation you are in and where could this situation lead to. Human trafficking is where individuals can be used for commercial sex acts as well as free labor. So it's a thing where a lot of people assume that it's always scary. It may not be scary, and sometimes, and most times, it may come off to you as your love language. And what I mean by love language is when people have identified how to connect to you and get to you, and speak the language where you will be willing to drop your guard and move freely. You have to be very careful, you have to be very vigilant, and you have to be aware that, unfortunately, and this is why I really wanted to, speak to you all, because I understand now that it is my due diligence to speak to y'all, because transportation is the number one resource that these predators are using to commit acts of human trafficking. I want you all to understand that when you get into any vehicle, that you have rights as passengers. The Public Service Commission requires that any transportation company, no matter who it is, no matter on a corporate level, small business level, any level, there are certain rights that have to be met that go in favor of the passenger. So you have the right to demand any information. If you want to see that the driver is official, you have the right to demand that type of information. On the Uber app, it's called a driver's profile. They have access to show you that they are officially, using these services for that need. On the Lyft app, it's the same. With Eastern Shore Transit and with other transportation companies, we are required to show you our PSC license that we get from the Public Service Commission. Also, when you get in the vehicle has to be geared to your standard. If you are uncomfortable with the child safety lock on the door, you should be able to get in the car, open the door at all times. If you hear that sound where it's like this, when you get in, do not close the door. You let the driver know, and you communicate to the driver that you're taking the child safety lock off. And the reason why you want to communicate that to the driver is because you want to listen and pay attention to their response as well as their body language. Anyone who's panicking or getting frantic that you are trying to take off the child safety lock, that's a no-go. You need to get out the car and find another way. That if you get into my vehicle or any other professional transportation company vehicle, we will not get upset at that. We have the child safety locks on to accommodate some of our customers who require child safety locks. So, in most instances, if the child safety lock is on, it wasn't taken off prior to your pickup. So you got to make sure you check for that and look for that body language. The next thing that you need to know is that you have a right to know which direction you are going. Uber and Lyft requires drivers to post their phones up in the window and show the destination and route in which you're going, because that gives you the safety and security to know that the driver is going the route that the app is telling them to go and not the way that they want to go. The next thing you have to know is that when you get in the vehicle, and if you are a woman and you are by yourself, sit behind the driver. Do not sit on the passenger side. Sit behind the driver, because then that way you're in a position to observe more, and also you are in a position to not be attacked. When you are sitting on the passenger side at this angle, it's easy for any type of physical harm. When you sit behind them or sit behind him or her, you can't reach back. So you want to be able to sit behind them so that if anything goes wrong, you can make a quick escape. The next thing is stops. You have to be aware of your service in the sense that you know that you're getting picked up from this point to go to this point, and there shouldn't be any stopping in between. If your drivers are stopping, then that's a red flag. You have to, flee the scene from that. You have every right to cancel that service, and you can fight it later, but you do not want to be in that situation. You want to come out of that, because what's happening during that time frame is the transaction. They are beginning to, transfer you either to another vehicle or have more parties involved when you're stopping and the stopping wasn't requested. For professional companies, all the stops have to be provided prior to you even starting or initiating the service, so that the driver is aware of where to stop, not to stop, or can we do this, can we do that. So that it is a difference in that, and we can't just make random stops without your permission and you even informing us that you want to make those stops. So you just have to be very careful. It is unfortunate that the transportation industry is being used for this criminal act, but it's more so a thing to remind us every day as people that we have to be alert at all times and do not allow technology to put us in vulnerable states. So, I definitely want to provide the information of human trafficking. I really hope that I've reached y'all in some level, shape, or form. Like I said before, I don't do this often. I know I probably was, stuttering and everything, but, I just really wanted to come to y'all on some humble, some real, and just explain to y'all what's going on and how it affects, the transportation industry, and just how it affects, us as people, and how we all can play our roles, whether it be you in the transportation industry, what you supposed to do, or whether you being somebody who's witnessing somebody who's actually going through this. So I encourage you all to visit the website humantrafficking.org just to learn more information. Also, on the screen here, everything is listed, as well as the contact information. So if you suspect anything, if you are not sure, you have any questions, you can call this number as well, and send them a text too. So, there are options for you to be in contact in regards to this. I hope that once again I reached someone, and I want you all to have a blessed day, and just always remember to stay vigilant.